new musical production is happening at the Garden Theater through Saturday. Joining us with details is John Sloan from Ghostlight Productions. Good morning. Thanks for being here with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so for people who aren't familiar, tell me about Ghostlight Productions. What's the main focus?
Yeah, so Ghostlight Creative is my production company.
Yeah.
And I moved back home to Detroit in 2017. I spent the previous 10, 12 years between New York on tour. And really our goal is to make sure that we uplift impactful stories and stories from our community, that we uplift underrepresented artists, and that we create a strong platform for new work to be produced.
Hey, thanks so much for coming back home.
Yeah,
when you
thank
say
you.
you were on tour, in what capacity?
I was an actor off and on for about 10 years with The Lion King, the national tour.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. All right, so you talked about the underrepresented. How important is it to highlight, I know, all black theater, music production.
Yeah.
How close to the heart is that for you, that mission?
It's vital. You know, it's difficult to get new work produced regardless of what it is, whether it's a new film, a new play, a new book being written, and that goes without saying regardless of identity. But when there is gatekeeping, when there are people that are keeping certain individuals from being able to get their work seen, then what you end up with is a 13 or 14-year-old who doesn't see a representative of themselves anywhere. Yeah. And you can't dream to be something you haven't seen before. And so our goal is to make sure that authentic stories are produced, are placed on TV, are on stage, are in film, and that we give those 13, 14, 15-year-olds an understanding of who they can become.
Yeah, I am absolutely fascinated by what you do for a living. So
Thanks.
For people who maybe don't have a full appreciation or understanding of this, you are shooting this video and editing this video, correct, and really putting the production together.
So we put the entire thing together from the ground up. One Sleepy Night is a collaboration between my company, Ghostlight, and Heart Entertainment out of Ann Arbor. And it's a project that came to me from their lead producer, Don Hart, where he had an idea for a show that he wanted to get up. And so we spent months working on the script. We brought in musicians and Red McCampbell and Carolette Phillips as our choreographer, and we mounted a brand new show. And that means everything has been built for this show. Every single costume has been purchased or designed. Every single piece of music is absolutely brand new. Every single word has been written and rewritten again. And then you get to the cast and to the work that they have to put in over the series of 4 to 5 weeks, right? And then we come into a rehearsal and I see something that doesn't work and we go home and rewrite and come back in the next day. And then all of that stuff gets packaged and put up on a stage for an audience. And when an audience sees something for the first time, it's a magical experience because you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You don't know where they're going to laugh or where they're going to clap, and everybody gets to participate in that work together.
You said something that really stuck out. I'm backtracking here, but
Sure.
You can't dream of something that you haven't seen yourself.
No. Yeah.
How life-changing can the work that you do be for somebody who maybe wouldn't have had a production like this, maybe their work wouldn't have been seen? Can you speak to some of those transformations that you've been able to make possible?
You know, it's funny because I went to Michigan for musical theater, and I have a lot of friends that are professional artists. And we have a tendency as artists, I'm going to speak for a lot of people right now, but to put the art on a pedestal. You know what it takes to be an actor or a director or a composer, and you know the decades of experience that you put into it. When I was on tour, I went maybe 10 Thanksgivings without being able to be home to see my family because you have to work. But when you put that work on a pedestal, you create barriers. You create separation, you create stratification, and there are people that don't have access to that thing. And what's really important about representation isn't just doing it for a litmus test. It isn't just doing it to appease anybody else. It's because when your story is seen, when you see somebody present their work and their words, you see somebody empower themselves. You see somebody grow into who they can become. You see somebody understand that who they are is not ever to be apologized for, but is always to be celebrated. And that's what theater in specific has the ability to do, because we're combining carpentry with design, with choreography, with music, with storytelling, and all of that coming together at one moment on one stage and impacting so many people from so many different walks of life who in that moment get to have one shared experience.
Wonderful. John Sloan, thank you so much. It is abundantly clear just how brilliant you are.
Come see the show, too.
Yes,
yes, please.
We've had the information up on the screen. We were getting very deep, but I promise you, it's been there, it's been shared. Cannot thank you enough for taking time out to be with us this morning. I was taking mental notes. I'm sure people were at home as well. So thank you for all you do in this community.
I appreciate it.